What's up, nieces and nephews? Welcome back to the Big Money from Small Handyman Services Business series. This is episode 3. Let's talk about legalities. Whether you choose to follow or not follow the legalities in your state and county, which, by the way, I would suggest that you do. I would suggest that you do, but I'm just here to give you information, food for thought, and then you make your own decision, right? We're old enough to do that. The legalities in your state for handyman services business may be different. In my state, there are very little. There are only a few things that I can't do. Roofs, windows, big electrical, or heavy electrical, heavy plumbing, like anything that has to do with installing new breakers and that kind of stuff. So in the panel, those kinds of things you need licenses to do. Now, I'm technically a licensed remodeling contractor that turned into a handyman. So I already had a full registered business. But in states like California, for example, you cannot take jobs that equal to a total of $500 or more all in. That means including materials and your pay. Right? Whether you want to abide by that or not, that's one thing. But you need to know these things so at least you know what it is that you're getting yourself into. Now, the decision from that comes, I guess, if you should figure out whether you want to run a business or whether you want to just kind of have a job that you pick up, odd jobs here and there for friends or family, neighbors, whatever the case is, or whether you want to try to run a business and try to grow that business. Obviously, you can grow both of those businesses. The difference, though, and the reason that I always encourage you to do the right thing is because, first of all, right is right and wrong is wrong. But if you take it a step further from the, judgment of it, you should be able to take all of the tax advantages of running a business and owning a business, right? Whether that's a sole proprietorship or an LLC or an S corp, whatever the case is, figure these things out. Figure out what are the legalities in your state and in your county as well, because they can differ, and figure out where you fit in that. Figure out whether the things that you are able to do without being, for example, a general contractor or something like that, is something that you're willing to do or not willing to do. And that helps you make the decision. But you should also run your business like a business because you can take advantage of the tax incentives. If you buy tools, that's a write-off. Gas is a write-off. Tires for your truck are a write-off. Your cell phone bill, a part of your rent and mortgage if you have a space that you're using as an office, your internet bill because you access the internet. If you have a CRM on your cell phone, that service is also a write-off as well. If you buy materials, that's a write-off. If you sub out part of the work, that's a write-off. If you hire an assistant for a day or full time, that's a write-off. You should take those advantages. Now, a business, as a legal registered business, you pay taxes after deducting expenses. Let me say that again. A business pays their expenses first, and whatever's left over, that's what taxes are paid on. Think about how powerful that is as a small business owner. You need to obviously talk to a accountant, tax accountant in your area. I'm just some dude on YouTube, but this is something that I highly encourage you to do because we should be able to take those advantages. Not only that, but if you're in a state like California, like I mentioned, and you cannot take jobs that equal to more than $500 all in, regardless of the length of time, and it's not per day, it's per job, you need to ask yourself, sometimes I spend more than that in materials for a job that I'm doing. So now you need to decide, well, okay, if I'm going to be restricted to $500 and less, including materials to do this legally, now I need to start making a decision on what kind of jobs I can do that are profitable, that including the materials cost is going to be enough for me to have a healthy amount of profit to be able to live by, right? To live from. So you got to think about that. Now, obviously, there are ways that you can work around that. You can have the customer buy materials, so that's not included within your charges. But, I found that The high quality customers, and I'll do a video on what a high quality customer is, right? A high value customer versus a low value customer, because customers tend to label us as something as well. And we need to have that same type of metric to be able to determine what a high value customer is. High value customers tend to not want to deal with anything. They tell you, this is what I need. Tell me how much it's going to be. And you go and you pick up everything and you do it. Like, I don't want to go and buy the paint to save me a few dollars. Like, they don't have the time for that. Right. So you need to consider that kind of stuff. That goes into, choosing your clientele and being able to recognize high value customers. And again, I'm going to make a video on that, but you need to be able to consider all these types of things. Consider if you're going to be able to offer services that are going to be competitive, that you are going to be able to make a decent profit from, that you're going to be able to go home at night without worrying about the kind of jobs that you did, and whether if for some reason an inspector goes out there, the customer's going to get in trouble, and then it rolls downhill, and then it's going to go back onto you. That kind of stuff. Personally, apart from the tax benefits and everything else, I don't like having that on me. Of working outside of the quote unquote law. I rather do everything by the book and not have to worry about, not working legally, or, oh, I can't, leave my tools outside because somebody might drive by and then see that somebody's working here and get curious. There's a lot of people who work in this industry that are worried about that kind of stuff. Man, if you work on job sites long enough, you're going to see people like, oh, park down the street and bring in all your tools, put them in the back. Because if a county inspector drives by and they see tools, and they may be, they maybe see a wet saw. Wet saw usually means tile work. Tile work may usually mean bathroom remodels. Bathroom remodels usually mean plumbing. Plumbing needs, paperwork. It needs permits, etc. They may want to come in, and people that I've worked with and that I still go to certain job sites and see, they worry about that kind of stuff. I don't like having to worry about any of that. So, I rather have a business where I'm doing exactly what I can do and should be doing, and I profit from it, right? I do very well from it. That's the whole point of this series. So again, guys, to summarize it, figure out the legalities in your state and in your county. What kind of work can you do? What kind of work can't you do? Is there a maximum amount of money that you can charge per job? Take all that information and make an informed decision on whether this is something that you feel that you can pursue and that it's going to be beneficial both for the customer and for you. All right, guys, I hope that makes sense. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's best to, abide by all that? Do you feel it's a waste of time? Do you have a completely different frame of thought on it? Let me know, guys. What do you think? All right, I'll see you on the next one.